what you're going to get is a little bit, I told some people earlier, we're going to MacGyver this virtual PD today. For those of you who know who MacGyver is, you just take whatever you got and you put it together and you make it work. So that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about creative thinking, and we'll do some activities, and then Clint is going to talk a little bit just about the importance of laughter in your after-school programs, laughter with your kids, with your staff, what that does. So you get Clint and I today, which hopefully will be relevant and good and fun. We're not going to do a karaoke party. Richard, there's a great suggestion, but yeah, not today. You can sing to yourself on mute. That'll be great. So the first thing we're going to do, though, we're going to, do I have breakout rooms? Yes. So we're going to go to breakout rooms here in a little bit. We are going to, the rooms are going to be small. We're going to have, I'm hoping 4 or 5, maybe 4 people, if we can do it in a room, 3 to 4 people. So in your breakout room, and this is an activity you can use with your kids, you can use it in a training, you can use it as an icebreaker, whatever. Some of you may have done this with me before. It's called a 2-minute teach. And how the 2-minute teach is that you usually, if we're all in person, you would get a partner and you would stand and face your partner. And you're going to, each person is going to teach the other person. You have 2 minutes to teach each other about anything that you know. So I'm just going to pick Ryan because he's up here at the top on my screen next to me. So if Ryan and I were partners, we would turn and face each other, and I'm going to teach him. I have 2 minutes to teach him about anything that I know about. And then he would have 2 minutes to teach me about whatever it is that he knows about. All right. So the first time that I did this, I was at a conference in Philadelphia, and I was partnered with a lady from Maine, and she used to work in a work at an aquarium. She's all about the ocean. She's a conservationist. So I taught her how to shoot free throws because she needed to know that, right? So I told her, got the stance, the ball, you spin it. Went through my routine of shooting a free throw, 3 dribbles, point your elbow, follow through, and swish. So it took 2 minutes to teach her how to shoot a free throw. For her two minutes, she taught me about lobsters. She taught me that lobsters' claws are different sizes. One is for grasping and one is for tearing. She taught me that when the female lobster lays eggs, she fans thousands and thousands of eggs out into the water with her tail. She also taught me that they urinate through their eyeballs, which is what I really remember, but I don't ever start with that because I want you to think I have a little bit of class. So she taught me 2 minutes about lobsters. Whenever I see her now, I see her at different conferences. She remembers about how to shoot a free throw. Obviously, I remember about lobsters. So you're going to go to a breakout room. You're going to have 3 or 4 people in the room. You're each going to have at least 2 minutes to teach the others about something that you know. So just so you know, we've had everything from how to do piano scales, recipes are a big one, how to bow hunt, how to pack up a house if you're going to move, how to sew. Somebody taught Clint how to make a beer margarita. So mixed drinks, whatever. So it's something that you know, all right? You don't have to go, oh my gosh, what am I going to Google and teach somebody? It's something you know. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, and I do that on purpose because as soon as I said you're going to teach somebody else about something you know, your brains all started going, oh my gosh, what am I going to teach? I don't know. What do I know about that I could talk about for 2 minutes? If you have any kind of hobby, if it's something you learned as a kid, if you played a sport, whatever it is that you know about. I had a guy in a session, he took his 2 minutes to talk about how to raise children. I was like, dude, if you could put that in 2 minutes, you are a genius and should be making millions of dollars. But he was confident enough that this is what I do. So it's whatever you know, okay? So I'm gonna create these breakout rooms. There's gonna be 3 or 4 people in each room. When you get into the room, I'm gonna give you between 6 and 8 minutes. So when you get in there, go alphabetically by first name, okay? So all of you, Amy's and Allison's and Andrews, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go first. All right, so everybody's popping back in. You will all be on mute as you come back in. So if you would, type in the chat box, what did you learn? Tell us something that somebody taught you about. Just type it over there in the chat box, and we'll see how much we can catch. Oh, good. Lisa's best room she's been in. All right, how to make a quilt, shoulder massage. I could use that right about now. How to take care of kittens, play the flute, play jacks.
Like I said, I don't like to share on this. She's going Jennifer. I have myself blocked out.
All right, cooking, how to play chess, how to play volleyball, how to make a bottle of milk. That would be interesting. Photosynthesis and how to DJ. That's a killer combination right there. A little science and music. Oh, cool. How to slide when you're going into second, third base. Making t-shirts, sign language, peep jousting. That's part of why I like this activity is you learn things that you like. Elizabeth, would you be willing to tell us what peep jousting is? You can unmute yourself. What is peep jousting? Or whoever taught Elizabeth about peep jousting?
That would be me.
I'm not surprised. Go ahead, Richard. What is peep jousting?
Peep jousting is a fun experiment that shows children how gases expand. What you need is at least 2 peeps or 2 marshmallows, doesn't matter, and 2 toothpicks. Gently put a toothpick into each marshmallow or peep, place them inside a microwave approximately 2 inches apart, and then turn the microwave on for about 3 minutes or so. And as they are being microwaved, the gases will expand inside them, stretching them out, and the first one to pop loses.
Got you. All right. So there you go. Peep jousting. If you learn nothing else today, if you got nothing else to take away, at least you got peep jousting today, right? All right. Thanks, Richard. Thanks for engaging in that. It's a great little activity. You can use it for, like I said, for trainings, just to kind of break the ice with people. Using it with students, kids know about stuff. It gives them a little bit of a voice. If you can say, hey, I'm going to give you, maybe you don't give them 2 minutes, maybe you give them 1 minute, and you teach each other about something that you know. One kid could teach another about Minecraft. You could teach some, one kid could teach another kid about this is how you kick a soccer ball. This is how you do dishes, whatever it is that those kids know. It gives them some voice. It gives them an opportunity to connect. You can also use it as a reflection activity. If you've done a lesson, so now we're going to pair up and you have 1 minute to tell each other, what did you learn from this activity today? Right? It's just a little quick reflection activity. So they're talking to each other, connects them to one another. So it's called a 2-minute teach. No supplies, easy to do. All right. So yeah, and if it's, yesterday we talked about what's your go-to activity. That was one of the prompt. 2-minute teach. If you're standing and waiting for the bus, you can, just ask somebody, hey, give me 2 minutes on something you know about. Or if it's something that you've done that day, you can create, you can choose the topic, however you want to do it. So 2-minute teach. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about creative thinking, and we are going to go back into breakout rooms here in a little bit, and for you guys to do an activity. But because of where we are right now, we all have to be creative, don't we? We're figuring out, how do we continue programming? How do we continue to pay our staff? How do we continue to do all these things that we would like to do? Because normal is not here right now. And so we're all kind of having to live in that creative thinking zone. I'm going to throw up a poll just out of curiosity. On a scale of 1 to 5, where would you rate your ability to think creatively? And I'm not talking about artistic creativity. I'm not talking about painting or drawing or singing or anything like that. I'm just talking about thinking creatively. All right. So it looks like we got a little over half so far have responded. Yep. Those of you on Chromebooks, typing those numbers over there in the chat box, that's fine, even if you're not on a Chromebook. So I'm seeing lots of 3s and 4s. Good. All right. So another 5 seconds or so if you want to get in. All right. That's pretty good. So I'm hoping you can see the results of the poll. So 53% of you said, you know, kind of right in the middle. But the vast majority of us think of ourselves as having some ability to think creatively. Typically what happens if you ask a room full of first graders, how many of you are creative? Right? All of them. You ask a room full of middle school kids, how many of you are creative? And the artists will raise their hands. And the rest of them go, no, that's not me. But we're not talking about art. We're talking about I found this definition of creativity, that it seeks to answer the unanswered question, or it seeks a new way forward. And that's where we are right now, is in that seeking a new way forward. There's so many things that are unknown. There's so many things that are up in the air. So we think maybe in the fall, we're hoping that school's going to start back up and our programs are going to start running again. And we'll hope for that, but we don't know. And so we're having to think a little bit more creatively. So creativity is a mindset. It's not, I don't believe that it's something that you're born with. I think it's a way that you think. I think it can be learned. So just a couple of tricks for thinking creatively. Questions. A lot of times a question will just automatically your brain engages. If somebody asks you a question, what if questions are good for that? What if this happened? You know, what if I took my table that my computer is sitting on and I just grabbed the bottom of it and I flipped it up? What would happen? What, you know, and you go, okay, well, automatically you're like, well, we're done with our meeting, that's for sure. But asking those kind of what if questions, asking questions about, I wonder what would happen. I wonder about, those are a parent chick, one of the first virtual PDs we did. That was one of her things, kind of scientific thinking and curiosity. So I wonder questions, and then other questions about, and what else? So a lot of times if you have a child, especially young children, that they're telling you a story, you know, just ask them, hey, tell me a story. And they start talking and then they stop. And if you say, and what else? A lot of times they might keep going. Oh yeah, that's great. And what else? And what else? And the same thing works with us. For us to be able to think creatively, to ask ourselves questions, what if we did this? Yeah, and what else? What else could we do? What else could we add to it? So thinking creatively. And that's something that's really, I think it's needed now. I think those of you that are in leadership, administration, you're doing it all the time. You're thinking creatively. Those of you who are doing that direct service, frontline work with the kids, thinking creatively on what can I give to these students. So my oldest son started working at the Boys and Girls Club here in Columbia, October maybe of last year. They're doing all virtual programming like a lot of you are doing. He's doing one video each week, and he's just coming up with things. He built a fort. He taught the kids, this is how we're going to do a fort with blankets. And so in his house where he's living, he just pulled a bunch of chairs. He had draped a lot of blankets over it, just something for the kids to go, okay, yeah, this is how I build a fort. He basically did a 2-minute teach. He said, this is my talent. He juggles a soccer ball for 2 minutes or for a minute and said, this is how you do it. Yesterday he came over. Anybody played the Whisper game? It's really great. So you get some noise canceling headphones, put them on, turn the music up, not loud enough to blow out your eardrums, but turn it up loud enough that you can't hear. And then somebody reads you a small phrase. You cannot hear them, so you have to guess what they're saying just by reading their lips. It's a pretty hilarious game. So he came over and played the game, recorded himself playing the game with his sister and with his brother. And, you know, so he's having to think creatively, what can I give to my kids? What if I did this? I wonder if I tried this. So it's all about just kind of learning that creative thinking beyond where we are. All right. So we're going to do a little activity. And this is an activity that I have done before, and I've never done it virtually, so we're going to see how this goes. So it's called the Apple activity. So you are going to be in a group with maybe 7 or 8 people, and you are going to try to come up with as many words as you can think of that are connected to the word apple. Okay? It does not have to have the word apple in it, but you're going to come up with as many things as you can think of that are connected to apple. For instance, I'll give you a couple. Okay, so one of them, apple. That one's easy. Apple tree. Okay, apple slices. One that gets said a lot is doctor, because an apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? New York City. Why? It's the Big Apple. Okay, so you're going to work with your group. Designate one person in your group to keep track of the words that you're coming up with, and then when we come back, we'll put them in the chat box. You coming back in? So, thumbs up, thumbs down. How was that? You just show me. Seeing thumbs up. Good. 71. Woo, 71 connections to Apple. Yeah, so go ahead and give us the number in the chat box, and maybe list out some of the ones that you think might be unique for you, that maybe your group came up with and nobody else might have come up with. So Jolly Ranchers, yes. Granny Smith, Adam's apple, that's a good one. All right, wow. Apple bottom jeans, there's the music. Snow White, Manhattan, Kansas, love it. Archery, Apple Teenies, Adam and Eve, Steve Jobs, yes. Scrubs, I don't know that I've heard that one. Appalachians Mountains, that's being a little creative there, yeah. Bobbing for apples, hard cider, that's awesome. Teachers, yes. Erica Badu. Crab apple, apple suckers, Fiona, yes. Yeah, Applejack, My Little Pony, apple chutney, apple of my eye. Yeah, so 5 minutes, 6 minutes on all things connected to apples, right? You had to think creatively. We have drinks, we have people, Stevie Wonder, apple of my eye, Johnny Appleseed, Nelly, Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter. Yeah, so y'all were being creative. This is on an apple. That's it, right? So learning to think creatively, you had to stretch, you had to imagine what else could we add? You know, ooh, Appalachian Mountains, this apple is not in it, but it sounds like apple, right? So if we had a little more time today, we would where we would go from here is to think about your programs. And maybe you could just write these questions down. What do you do well in your program? And how could you expand it? So it's a little bit of a play off of that, and what else? So what's something that you do well? Like if somebody said, hey, what's the best thing your program does? That you would go, oh, this. It's tutoring, it's our enrichment, it's our photography class, it's so good. Okay, and what else could you add to that to make it better? So what do you do well? How could you expand it? What if there are other partners? So who are your partners that you work with? Who else might you be able to connect to in your community? So one of the things that I have, so as the network, we have coaches. Some of you guys know the AREs, the After School Regional Educators. So I work with a few programs, and one of the things that I've suggested to them when they're thinking about community partners, as you drive around town, just notice, what are the businesses? What are the buildings? Who could I connect with? If I'm going to the grocery store, I'm going to pass the fire station. I'm going to pass the veterinarian. I'm going to pass a bank. I might pass a building for veterans services. Who can I connect with? Who can I bring into my program? So just as you're going out just on a regular trip, it's not even something special that you have to do. You're going to the grocery store. You know what kids really like? Kids like to go behind the scenes at the grocery store. If you can talk to the grocery store and say, hey, can we bring 10 kids in the back and see where you unload the trucks and see where the food comes in? Because when the kids see it, they just go in and they pick the stuff off the shelves, and it's just magic because every time they go, there's stuff on the shelves. But if it's another thing that we're planting seeds. I've told people for years, in after school, we are planting seeds in these kids. And so just something that you go, well, that's dumb. Why would we go to the grocery store? Because kids don't know how the grocery store works. They just go in and they pick up their stuff. So as you travel around your town, ask yourself, who else can I connect with? What can who can I bring into my program as a guest speaker? Maybe it's the vet. You bring in the veterinarian and he's going to talk about how to take care of your pets. How often do I need to take my pets to see you? Whatever it might be. All right. So thinking creatively, expanding where you are. So in this time, while we're home and we're trying to virtual program, we're trying to stay connected to our kids and their families, be thinking, what is a new way forward? If the kids don't come back in the fall, how are we going to do this? What can we expand on what we've done well, and where are we going to grow that? All right. So think about that Apple activity. When you get stuck and you go, I don't even know what to do. Think about how somebody came up with 71 things connected to an apple. Think about what you guys did in your own groups. All right. Any questions just about creative thinking? I'm not going to claim to be the expert on creative thinking. But yeah, the group did. That's a good point. It was a group. Maybe sometimes to be creative, you need to bring other people in. Set up a quick Zoom call and say, hey, I'm trying to think of something. I'm not getting it on my own. So let me get Nicole and Anita and Catherine, and we're all going to get together and we're going to have a conversation and we're going to figure it out. Yeah, mind maps. It's great. Thanks, Megan. So now you guys are you're starting to throw out those ideas. Y'all watch that chat box, because sometimes more happens in the chat box than what happens with whoever's talking up here on your screen. So it's problem solving. It's creative thinking. It's problem solving. And that's a skill that kids are going to need all through their life, because we all encounter obstacles and problems. So any other questions in the chat box? We're going to shift gears here in a minute. All right. Well, if a question pops into your head, you can go ahead and put it in the chat box. I'm going to turn it over to Clint Darr. So Clint is a after-school regional educator with the AfterSchool Network. I get the privilege of working with him. Used to work with him every day. I still see him every day, but we're separate now. But Clint did a session on community service early on in these virtual professional development sessions, so you might remember him. But he's going to talk a little bit about laughter, which is kind of that's his jam, is laughing and talking about the benefits of laughing. So Clint, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can take us home.
All right. Thank you, Brad. All right. Is my slide showing or not? It's up. All right. Well, welcome everybody. I get the privilege of talking a little bit about laughter. It's kind of a quick fill-in today, and Brad contacted me just a little bit before we started and asked if I could jump in and do a little bit on laughter. So I took one of my presentations and just shortened it down. So I'm going to move through these slides kind of quick, where I talk about laughter, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to do a couple of interaction things and see how it works, because I've kind of been curious about doing that very thing. So let's see if we can get these slides moving and advancing. Okay, so who am I? Well, you already know. I'm Clint Darr, after-school educator with the network. I've done a lot of things. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about myself. I do have some hobbies. I like cooking, my family, and my dog. I should have put some commas in there. but I've had a lot of jobs, and I have fun everywhere I go. I always make it a point to have fun where I work. And I love telling stories about my past. When I worked at a bank, I remember the little lady that came up one day and said, asked if I would check her balance. And so I gave her a push. But no, I did not really do that. But I sure thought about it. Working as a firefighter was a great job. It's a little bit dangerous. You don't realize how dangerous, being and this is true. I'm not just making this stuff up. I was a firefighter for 14 years, and one time I fell off a 50-foot ladder. But the good news is I was on the bottom rung, so yeah, it was cool. All right, let's move on. I can't hear you all groaning, so that's a good thing. I think the mute feature is really good when we're doing this. I would love to get to know everyone. When I do a presentation, I love to get to know everyone. So I want to hear your names. So we're going to do something really crazy right now. Hey, Brad, can you hit the, well, no, I'll just tell everyone that can do it. Everyone just unmute yourself. And on the count of 3, everyone
See some location, and I'm like, well, I'm not doing that.
Hi.
Say your first and last name.
No, African. Hello. No.
Troy Jones. Troy
Everybody. All right, now, and I remember to unmute myself. Okay, I feel like I've got a personal connection with everybody out there now because I heard every single name mentioned. All right, when I talk about laughter, I always talk about starting with a smile. So if you see the slide that's up there now, it says smile, please. And a lot of you have your video on, and if more of you could turn that on, it would be awesome. But I want to see you smile. So the people that I can see right now, let's see, I don't see a whole lot because it's just that limited little box off to the side. But those that are on video, even if you're not on video, smile right now. Just notice how that feels. Notice how, you're in the safety of your own home. Thank you, thank you. Some of you turning your video on just so you can share a smile with me, and I do appreciate that. Okay, a smile feels good. It's an instant mood changer. Okay, so keep that smile going. Thank you, Troy. I love it. That's a good smile. When you smile teeth, it's even better. So try that. Try that smile. It's an instant mood changer. Okay, so keep that smile on your face while we're doing this. Okay, my motto that I go by: if I can make at least one person smile or pee their pants a little, my day was not wasted. So already my day is not wasted because I saw some smiles. Hopefully the other thing maybe didn't happen yet. Okay, so who can laugh? Just in the chat box real quick, type your answer. Who can laugh? And I'm hoping we can see a trend fairly quick that comes up. Who can laugh? That's the question. Just type a short answer. Who can laugh? Let me see. I'm not seeing the chat box right now because I'm looking at my slideshow. Oh, there it is.
Everyone.
Oh, everyone, the whole world, everybody, everyone. Someone amused, yes, that. I see specific names. Sharon can laugh, yes. Everyone, anyone, everyone. Yeah, and it's one of those questions, yes, it's kind of a silly question, but yes, everyone can laugh. So thank you all for jumping on, and the entire universe, I like that. Babies, I can, all of us, yes. So who can laugh? Here's just some people that had some pretty serious roles in this world. I mean, you probably recognize all 3 of these figures, and they've seen some pretty serious things and maybe not always so many pleasant things, but they know the importance of laughing. And so, yeah, the answer is everyone, anyone can laugh, and we should. Preschool age children laugh up to 400 times a day, but by the time we reach adulthood, we only laugh about 17 times a day. Why is that? What changes? Well, if that's a rhetorical question, you don't need to type an answer, but the answers would be something like, well, responsibility. We grow up, things happen, and we just don't enjoy life because we've got all those responsibilities. I say let's try to keep laughter in our lives and try to keep that childlike innocence in our lives. Okay. Mitch McConnell, I like that. Thank you, David. All right. Okay. I had to leave this one in here just because it makes people laugh. It makes me laugh every time I think about it. I don't get along with technology very well. Like you can see today, although I'm doing better than I expected. I was asked to create a new password. This happens to all of us, right? And then when you do it, it doesn't like it. So I wanted something easy that I could remember. And so I said, okay, my new password will be beef stew. I can remember that. What message do you think I got back when I typed that in as my new password? Well, there you go. Password not stroganoff. Hate when that happens. All right. So there's different kinds of laughter. You can smile, which is, it's a nice simple one. You can giggle, you can chuckle, or you can do the full belly laugh. Belly laughs are the best, and they give you the most benefit. The other box up on your screen talks about the best kinds of laughter. Laughing so hard that your laugh becomes silent. Okay, you're bent over double. You might be wheezing a little bit, but yeah, you can't even make any noise. Feeling a six-pack coming on because you're laughing so hard it's hurting your stomach muscles. And then finally, tears coming out of your eyes. So in other words, you're laughing so hard that you're crying. I've got one little sign that I hold up and it says, I laughed so hard, tears ran down my leg. Okay, that's always a favorite to show the kids, because when I show kids that, they read it and then they just, you know how kids are. They just think that's the funniest thing ever. Okay, little icebreaker we're going to do. Okay, and again, just play along with me. It's called lion laughter. This is one of my laughter yoga activities. It's a very simple thing that you do. You're all in the privacy of your own home, but if you're on video or can turn on your video, we would love to see you. All you do for lion laughter, put up your little claws, your paws, your lion paws, and you have to put your tongue out on your chin. How many of you are willing to do that with me? Okay, hands up and tongues on your chin, and just laugh a little. Thank you, Brad. He feels kind of obligated. All right, everyone do it right now and laugh while your tongue's on your chin. All right. I would love to do this in person with you guys. It's a lot more fun, but hey, I wanted to at least show you a couple little things around, some laughter activities. So lion laughter is a fun one. The kids love that one. So why laugh? I'm telling you, you should laugh. You got to laugh, but why should you? Okay, laughing's good for you. Everybody knows that. There's tons of studies, and we're going to go through these one by one. No, we're not. But there is a lot of research that shows the physical and emotional benefits of laughter. And again, just because of our time, I'm not going to read these individually, but there's physical health benefits, mental health benefits, social emotional benefits. Okay, SEL, big thing. Okay, a lot of benefits to laughter, and there's no prescription. So what I'm saying is keep laughter in your life, use it with your kids. Okay, and it's good for kids. Again, there's a whole list of things that it does. I'm not going to read them one-on-one, but you can see there's just a lot of things, a lot of benefits that come from laughing that benefits your kids. And like I said, laughter is good for you. Okay, you're going to be healthier, you're going to have more energy, more creativity, okay, that Brad was talking about, confidence, popularity, you'll sleep better, and you'll have less stress, less tension, less negativity, illness, and fatigue. So it's pretty cool stuff. Okay, bottom line, you'll be healthier. Because you're healthier, you'll be happier. Because you're happier, you'll be a better contribution to the world, to your work environment, to your family. Okay, it's a win-win situation. So how do you find laughter? Okay, I'm talking about it like it's some magical thing, but the thing is, it's so easy. Just look for it. It's everywhere. Some people look at this picture and they see a coat hook. Okay, someone looked at this and saw something different, and they added a caption. Drunk octopus wants to fight. Okay, so if you just see the coat hook, that's all right. But if you see the drunk octopus, then you're my kind of person. How about this one? Do you see just a doorknob? You see a surprised man with a big nose. Okay, yeah, things like that. When you're out on the road, I saw this. I was like, I got to get a picture. Taylor Swift. And you know what? I don't think these trucks they're never, ever, ever getting back together. You know, Taylor Swift, that reference means something. Otherwise, it doesn't. Would you stop at this truck stop? Don't think I would, but I sure laughed. Brad can relate to this one. It's a dentist office, and look at the sign they put in their window. Sorry, we're open. Yep, come on in. This barge What's the message there? No safety, smoking first. Yeah, well, I think we know what they meant to say. It's not the way I saw it. Don't touch those wires. They're going to cause instant death. It'll kill you. And we're going to charge you $300. Violators will be towed and fined $50. And fined $50. I love it. Okay, this is one of my favorites. Look what the sign says. If your dog poops, pick it up, please. Well, evidently this guy's dog pooped and he was following directions. The work center has been accident-free since Joe left. I think it was supposed to be a date in there, okay? But things like that, you just gotta love. How about if you see this caution sign, worms may chase you. Okay, someone added that. Or another one, 1 in 3 snakes will bite. So look for that kind of stuff. And by gosh, take a picture and send it to me because I use this kind of stuff. I love it. Even commonplace things like the KFC sign. Okay, there's nothing funny about that sign in itself, is there? I mean, it hasn't been changed or modified. But one little girl looked at this sign and then she had the question, why is his body so tiny? Okay, why is his body so tiny? Yeah, so you'll never see that sign the same way again. Illegally parked cars will be fine. How about this for motivation? Just speed up a bit. You got this. Yeah, I love it. Push button, receive bacon. It's a classic. If you see someone drowning, what should you do? Well, according to this sign, you should laugh out loud. Someone told me that's not what that meant. That was not LOL. That was the person laughing. All right. Okay, and one more of these funny things. This toilet, only for disabled, elderly, pregnant children. Thank you for shopping with us. I want to know who can use that toilet. So just remember, as long as you can laugh, you'll never cease to be amused. Endless supply of material just by looking in the mirror. Jason at our office, a lot of you may know Jason Patry. One day when it snowed this past winter, he went out, he left work before I did. And when I came out, the smiley face greeted me. And so it made my day. And so this is my thanks to Jason for him doing that. When I hosted a laughter yoga session at a national conference, they got my name as Clint Darr. And at first I was like, oh, yeah, great, you know. And then since then, that's a joke. So a lot of people just call me Cliff. So you look for the funny stuff. My license plate right there, I laugh. So deal with your stress. That'll let you laugh more. How can it work in your after school program? Okay, can you know, I've talked about just silly stuff and looking for funny things around you, but can you actually use laughter in your after school program? Absolutely. Okay, first of all, don't be afraid to be corny. You're working with kids. Now, middle schoolers and high schoolers, a little tougher crowd. I always love the elementary ones because you can just be goofy and corny, but it works for everybody. I do crazy things with them. I'll tell them I was named after Abraham Lincoln. And when they challenge me on it, I say, well, of course I was. He was named in 1804 when he was born. I was named in 1958. I was named after Abraham Lincoln. So just be silly. You can laugh every day with your kids. You can do a 5-minute practice, okay? And you know, you don't even have to call it laughter yoga. That's kind of the like official thing, but just call them laughter activities, okay? Do a joke of the day time with your kids, okay, where they get an opportunity to tell their jokes or funny stories that they might have. I had a kid that actually asked this one riddle that's there in the middle. What has 3 heads, 6 eyes, 3 mouths, and 8 legs? I was like, a monster, an alien, you know, no. You want the answer? Get ready. It's a man on a horse carrying a chicken. Yeah, I know. That's bad, even by my standards. Okay, have a laughter leader. Okay, in your program, you've got line leaders and paper passers and you know, all those different jobs, door holders. Okay, have a laughter leader. They can lead that joke of the day time. They can lead the laughter activities that you're doing that day. Okay, it's great to have a laughter leader that can rotate daily, weekly, or whatever. Joke journal. You know, if you've got kids that, you know, have writing skills, you know, in other words, they're not the little ones, you know, have them keep track of the jokes and the funny things that happen so they can share them at joke time. So it's a little tie to literacy there. Laughing contest. Kids love to laugh. Who can laugh the loudest, the longest, the silliest? Okay, who can make others laugh with their jokes? Okay, have a laughing contest. One of my favorite things is to relate personal stories. Okay, so and the kids just go crazy over these silly stories I tell. I'll tell them about how I got a ticket on my car, and the sign said "fine for parking." So why did I get a ticket? And of course, the kids are quick to want to tell me that that's not what the sign meant. We have such fun. I tell them that I got stuck on an escalator. I was going up an escalator, and the power went out, and I was stuck for 2 hours. And of course, the kids, they just look at me with these big eyes. They're like, "You could have just walked on up." I'm like, I thought about that. And of course, my favorite story of all time is I asked the kids if you should get in trouble for doing exactly what your mother tells you. And of course, they're like, "Well, no, if you've done exactly what she told you, of course not." I tell them that I've got a story from my childhood that I got in the biggest trouble of my life for doing exactly what my mom told me to do. And so they're anxious to hear why Mr. Darr got in trouble for doing exactly what his mom said. And so I said, I tell them, I'll say, "Well, I was about your age, and I sat down for dinner, didn't much like vegetables, and my mom set this plate in front of me with these yucky looking orange things and green things. And she said to me, 'Clint, I want you to eat every carrot and pee on your plate.'" I said, "Mom, what?" She said, "You heard me. I want you to eat every carrot and pee on your plate." So I did. I ate every carrot and I peed on my plate.
Hanging out.
So yeah, so the kids, I mean, they just, you can imagine, they go crazy and they're wanting to tell me, that's not what she meant. And so we have quite the time with that. Now, the one time the kids turned it around on me, not intentionally, this was just an honest thing that this boy was doing. He was looking at a picture book, and I could tell he was enjoying it. I said, what are you looking at? And he said to me, he says, "It's a freaking elephant." And I said, "Oh, well, I'm glad you're enjoying, the pictures, but let's express that in a different way. Not use, at least, it wasn't the best language, but it could have been worse." But he goes, "No, it's a freaking elephant." And I said, "Let me see what you're looking at here." And sure enough, when I looked at the caption, yeah, it was a freaking elephant. All right. So anyway, alter ego. We're about out of time here today, so I arranged a guest appearance to close us out today. So let me see if he's here. I'll be right back. Yo, dogs. Notorious C rapper here. You want to hear a laughter rap today? I made a rap just for you guys. Sometimes in this world, we're not feeling so great. Politics, violence, disrespect, and yes, hate. We're waiting on the world to change, but the deck has been stacked against us for sure, and there's no going back to the world that we knew way back in time when the streets were safe and people were kind. So what do we do to turn it around? Don't know about you, but here's what I found. I look for the good and the fun, and I laugh, and I share what I find times 2.5. My rhyming is lame, I'm an old man rapping. I risk being booed, what I want would be clapping. So laugh if you feel it, I hope that you do. But you can't laugh at me, because I'll be laughing with you. Guys, thank you so much. Keep laughing. Keep laughing with your kids, keep laughing with your families, and just remember to keep laughter in your life and with those people around you. Okay, I appreciate you being here today, and I hope to get to see you again. Brad, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Clint. Appreciate it. Yeah, so hopefully you all got a little bit of something to take out of this today. Kind of short notice for us putting it together, but creative thinking and laughter, things that you can use in your programs, you can use in your personal life every day. So like Clint said, y'all keep laughing, find the bright side of things. It's a hard time for all of us, but find that fun, find that laughter in that life. So y'all have a great rest of your week.